I'm Al Filreis.
I'm Anna Safford.
And this is ModPoMinute, actually 5 minutes.
We're hoping to scratch the surface of a short poem that we like.
So let's get started. I'm here with Fayyaz Vellani. Hi, Fayyaz.
Hello.
And we're here sitting on a beautiful day, on the porch of the Kelly Writers House, and we've got a poem from a book by Ann Lauterbach, and the book is called Under the Sign, and it was published in 2013, and that's important for our conversation. The poem is called After Newtown, and I'll read it and then we can talk about it. After Newtown. Maybe there's a top at the end of the world made by someone else. Maybe it spins and becomes a blur of rivers and sounds windy. And the girl who arrives and who gets to hold the top at the end of the world and to pull and push so that it spins into blue rivers seems never to die. A train passes on the ridge. The hemlock branches wave. What's a top? What is the top in this poem?
I think it's a spinning top, like a child's toy.
Yeah.
So that's the illusion. But then the top of the world, again, there's a double meaning.
The top at the end of the world. End of the world suggests a certain apocalyptic situation, which follows from the title. So knowing nothing else about the poem but the title, we think what?
Seeking answers to why horrible things happen.
And what was that horrible thing? I guess we should say that.
I guess it was the massacre of school children by a gunman.
Yeah, of grade school children in a little Connecticut town. Newtown.
Newtown, the name itself seems significant, right? If you're thinking about end of the world.
Yeah. So after Newtown, what does the word after do in the title?
I think it does two things. I think it's obviously temporal, like in time after December 2012, and it's also, I think you've mentioned before, the kind of poetic tradition of if you're translating someone, you say after, and that poet's name.
So as if in the way of Newtown. Right. So while the poem makes no specific reference to the killings, we have a sense that this is the kind of poem we're going to have to write after this happened. Okay, we don't have a lot of time. That's an understatement, but let's pick out a few things. So we've got this top spinning, and then we have a girl. What's the story with the girl, do you think? To pull and push so that it spins into blue rivers seems never to die. So who is it that seems never to die? Grammatically?
I think it's the girl.
I think it's the girl. It's very moving, right?
It is.
So maybe this poem is able to imagine one of the girls who was killed, but because of the top spinning in this apocalyptic way, somehow time goes back and she doesn't die? I don't know.
Because it seems as though this top is spinning and she arrives and gets hold of it. So it's like a life force that she's able to cling to or something.
Yes. Oh, that's great. That's really great. I'm very moved by that. And then the role of natural imagery in this poem, right? You have this horrible human-made tragedy in a place, let's just say Connecticut, I don't think it matters too much, a place of a river and the wind that you can hear. And then at the end, a train passes on the ridge, period. The hemlock branches wave. What's going on there?
I think it's obviously an image of natural beauty, but I also think the hemlock is the allusion to poison, the thing that killed Socrates. So I think, again, there are two kind of meanings going on. And the same thing with the girl, the tragedy of that childhood lost, and then also the kind of something saved or brought back to life.
Yeah, that's great. And the natural image at the end, the hemlock branches just sort of, life goes on, natural life goes on, but something that's not natural, a train, also goes on, our schedules. What's the feeling that you get from this poem? I mean, you've had thoughts, you all have had thoughts about these tragedies, this one in particular, because, everyone is innocent who's been killed in these tragedies, but super innocent are little tiny kids. Yeah.
The feeling to me, honestly, it reminds me of like Edvard Munch, The Scream, that kind of...
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what it just does. This, this kind of innocent person who's in this horrible situation.
So you're haunted by the end.
I am.
Life goes on and the trees are sort of waving like bye-bye.
It's very dark to me.
Boy. Yeah. Final thought on this? Do you like the poem? I mean, Ann Lauterbach is quite indirect in her approach to things.
My final thought is, again, structurally it's very interesting because the top at the end of the world is at the top of the poem.
Yeah.
So it's very nicely constructed.
Yes. And there's an implication of the world just keeps on spinning round in there. Fayyaz, thank you so much. This was great.
Thank you.
If you liked this episode, watch another and subscribe.
And join us for ModPo, a free and open course at modpo.org.